Alright, everybody. Your Carnal has just finished watching an absolute shit show regarding the drama surrounding academic agent and Don the Pleb, in which, Don went nuclear. Completely nuclear, because, in his own words, he is very sick and tired of being plagiarized by the so-called academics for shit he told them years before that they disagreed with him vehemently about, and no doubt that is very frustrating. And I sympathize with that because I too have heard my content being repeated elsewhere, without credit, without any due consideration concerning my position and my contribution to that particular discussion. Now, the problem and the difference between that and what has happened between Don and AA is the fact that Don has repeatedly and directly told academic agent and his circle of friends, his compatriots, his positions regarding many different things. And this is the crux of the issue. Academic agent is incredibly incredulous over the idea that Don could claim credit for these ideas when he did not couch them in the intellectual format that he himself found these other truths. This is a very frustrating argument, extremely frustrating, because academic agent repeatedly makes appeals to knowledge and study and reading when Don the Pleb's positions, reasoning, his point of view is not from academia, it's not from the intelligentsia, it's not from the such and such philosopher or such and such thinker. It is from, unironically and literally, the lived experience and practice of someone who is living through elite theory. Don the Pleb has, this is something that I cannot stress to those across the pond. You have not experienced elite theory the way that the Americans have. And I mean that literally, because when it came to gay marriage in the States, we were forced to have that referendum in California, of all fucking places, twice. And both times in those referendums, in those elections, in those propositions, we rejected the elite's position, and we were censured for it. We were told, you have the wrong opinion, vote again. Except they didn't really have the balls to ask us a third fucking time. And imagine, in this context, if you were asked to have another referendum for Brexit. Could you understand how fucking frustrated you would be if you had to have another referendum on the Brexit question? And then, for some odd reason, they made up some legalese bullshit for why they couldn't ask you a third time when you told them to fuck on off a second time? We understand elite theory, and we understand that culture comes from the law. We have watched our society degenerate because the law changed and opinion shifted afterward. And it has been hell waking up our fellow Americans to, like, wait, why are you conceding this point when you never fucking voted for it? You never asked for it. And when you were given the choice, you told them hell no. Why are you suddenly now making it the quote-unquote conservative position to be pro-gay marriage? You were bullied into this. Knock it off. Now, that is a demonstration of the reality of elite theory. We understand that. The formulation that Don the Pleb came up with, which is also correct, is that culture is downstream of law. Don the Pleb was under absolutely zero obligation to put this in the intellectual framing that AA is requiring. To put it in a layman's terms, the farmer is not obligated, as he's in the process of sowing and reaping the harvest, or sowing the new field, to explain his actions or his methodologies to someone who wants the reading and study of agriculture at large. To even suggest that this is necessary for the farmer to justify his practices is retarded. And thus we come to the crux of the issue. Why is it that it is wrong for Don the Pleb to express intense frustration at your slowness to taking his advice, his points of view, when he is currently living through all of the bullshit you are speculating about? That's what this truly is. And when it comes to the notion of giving credit, or all things, some things are just obviously true and we all came to this conclusion independently and that's okay. No. That if that were the only factor of independent people coming to the same conclusion through different routes of thinking, that would be okay. That would be forgivable. The problem isn't that you came to this on your own. The distinct reality is that you, academic agent, did not come to this on your own. Don the Pleb has been on your streams repeatedly saying these same things. And he claimed these things, and from my observation, you claim that at that time that he was mistaken, that he somehow did not couch this in the appropriate vernacular, that he did not have the cited sources, or didn't promote the obvious experience that in any format you propose that you would find comfortable, and he didn't document it in a way that would be referable in the future. That doesn't mean he didn't say it, and it doesn't mean that he was not in some way the inspiration for you to coming to these conclusions. Because I promise you, because I've watched these streams between you and Don in the past. And though I haven't even done the research for it, to be honest. I can't find specific clips because I haven't looked for them. I know that they're there because I watched them live at the time. This is so frustrating. This is frustrating because this is a fight that shouldn't have happened. I get Don the Pleb's frustration. I get it. It is not. If it were only the fact that AA had come to these conclusions independently, that would be, that would be honorable. But it's not honorable because Don the Pleb knows, after being on academic agent streams, that these issues, these topics have been brought up before, and they were ignored. That they were put aside at that time. And then to see them being picked up and then reworked, in Don's estimation, in a half-assed fashion, which is also frustrating to no goddamn end. It is not right for academic agent to sit back and assume, oh, this was all from my genius, or I got this from this writer, or I got this from that writer. You got it from Don. Anyone who's watched these streams knows you got it from Don. And you got it from Don 3 to 5 years down the road. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with learning. There's nothing wrong with changing positions. But because you two have had these discussions before, it would behoove you to give a little grace here. You need to understand that as you were reading these materials, it is highly likely that you had a voice of Don, or a memory of Don's voice in your ear going, hey, this is what this looks like. This is what Don was talking about, even if you didn't completely and consciously have that recollection. Everyone who's watched your streams knows that this has occurred. So, yeah, Don went nuclear. I can't even deny that at this point. Oh, My God. So, I don't know what you two should do about this, because Don is not wrong. In his frustrations, in his observations, he is not incorrect. And in no place did Don ever claim that he invented these things. What he has said is, I have shown you these things in the past, and you decided to have some intellectual circle jerk elsewhere. And he got sick of trying to lead you to water. And 3 and 5 years later, you come back with damn near exactly what he was trying to say. And he's just sitting here going, wait, why? How? How did this occur? And you probably do think that you came up with this or discovered this through other sources. And that's fine. The reality is, you have had these conversations before. And you need to acknowledge that you've had these conversations before, and you had them specifically with Don the Pleb. And both of you need to come to fucking Jesus over that fact. Because this is not healthy for either one of you. This is not good. This is not good relations. Like, if I had this happens to humans. Like, we forget who inspired us. We sometimes forget who our muses are. And that, as I said, that's a forgivable sin. But when your friend comes back and says, yeah, that was my quote that you're regurgitating, you have to snap back and go, oh, maybe they did. And maybe they have a point. Now, the anger and frustration, the complete disavowal that Don the Pleb is engaging in, I'm not exactly sure where that's coming from. And AA tried to speculate that it has something to do with things like, relevancy, viewership, all that. Anyone who's been watching Don the Pleb knows that he doesn't give a shit. And in fact, he has literally backed away from YouTube, gone on other streaming services that you might not have heard of yet, like the one that Academic Agent has recently jumped on, Entropy. Don's been using Entropy for, my God, at least a year now. At least. Entropy and other platforms, other services. And Don has actually been almost intentionally chipping away at his audience to, get, a core group of people he can work with. He's not looking to expand his channel. He's not looking to expand on an audience. He's not looking for appeal. So this charge that Don is upset because he's no longer quote unquote relevant is ignorant. It is ignorant of the ethos and motivations of Don the Pleb. So, and I say all of this in love and respect for both of these streamers, because I've been on Don the Pleb stream, and AA's been kind enough to let me on his stream maybe once before. He gave one of my videos a shout out, which boosted my subscription substantially. And for both of them, I am extremely grateful. I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for these two giants in the dissident sphere. They're both valuable. Oh my gosh. There is a severe disconnect between these two camps, because one camp wants to be useful and the other one wants to be efficient, almost at the expense of being useful. And that's going to rub each other the wrong way. So, I don't know if there is a score to settle here. I don't know if there is a middle ground here. All I'm saying is, this is not good. This is not productive. This is not going in a way that is beneficial. And I think there is a fantastic opportunity here to go back, Don and Academic Agent, to go back together in these streams that they've had one another, and for Don to point out what he meant when he was saying this and how it relates to the changes and gradual evolutions that Academic Agent has come to. Because Academic Agent needs that kind of awakening. He needs to not just act in the academic sphere. He needs to have a non-intellectual basis for understanding how elite theory works. That's why I'm making this video. Because we have two sides here that need to merge. We have two sides here that if they remain separate, we are fucked. We are well and fucked. Academic Agent needs to learn the hands-on, real-life application of elite theory as it's understood through the eyes of Don the Pleb. And I'm not saying Don the Pleb needs to learn how Academic Agent has learned, but he does need to learn how to communicate to these assholes who want to actually implement these steps. He needs to learn how to interface with these people. As much as he's going to fucking hate it. And I can relate to both of those positions, much to my chagrin. And I prefer people who like to do. I prefer people who have the time. I prefer people who want to get out on the street. I prefer people who have a plan of action, who are able to say, hey, this is what we need to do. Whether I am ready to take those steps personally or not, I admire people who are willing to actually not only say what needs to be said, but are also willing to do what needs to be done and are willing to put themselves on the line in that manner. An Academic Agent, you need to learn. You need to admire this aspect of Don the Pleb. Because for some odd reason, there seems to be that disconnect. Don the Pleb has, in fact, known everything that you have said long before you came around to it. You need to understand how you missed it for this long. I don't know but that's assuming good faith. Is this a good faith squabble? I don't know. I'm just here shooting the shit, telling you how I see it. What I see is two good men squawking over what is essentially bullshit. But if we can solve this bullshit, if we can merge these two spheres, my God, imagine the things we could do. Anyways, that is Carnal's reaction to the Academic and Don the Pleb shit show. Enjoy, everyone. Stay carnal and God bless. Bye-bye.